All right, just sit back and get ready to have the most fun you ever had with an electronic device. All right, everybody, welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Show. It is Wednesday, September the 18th, 2024. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always. It's none other than Mr. RadioPete and Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gentlemen.
Howdy.
Hi, everyone.
How are you two fine gentlemen on this wonderful pre-fall evening?
Super.
Mediocre.
Ish.
Yeah, fine. Great.
Well, we're going to tell the truth.
If we're gonna speak legitimately, there you go. Well, prost to you two gentlemen, since 3 days from now is the official traditional beginning of Oktoberfest. So, prost.
Mm-hmm. Great.
I need a cocktail, so I'm having one. So,
all right.
But please partake, enjoy, if you will. Harry, you got some wine?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I got a big bottle of pills.
Yeah, I'm high.
Go for it.
Okay.
I'm high on
I'll take one.
I'm high on fentanyl, so it's
You're high on fent. There you go.
fentanyl. Yeah.
You know, the zombie walk around the room a little later.
Hasn't completely kicked in, but you know.
When does football start?
When does
Tomorrow?
Yeah, this week's tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. So how? Football. Yeah, it's that's the time of year, right?
It's been an interesting season.
Yeah, for the 32 games we've had so far, it's been an interesting season so far.
And we're having audio issues, or at least I am. Are you guys having audio issues or not?
No, I hear every word you're saying.
No, what's your problem, pal?
No, we hear everything. Can you hear us?
You can't
Yeah,
hear
but you
us?
sound like robots.
Oh.
Then it's definitely you. It's definitely your internet connection at that point, because we should be good.
All right.
You're fine. You're fine on this end. You're not.
Yeah, you sound great to us.
We always sound great. You always sound
That fantastic.
Speaking of you sounding great, when is the next log show?
October 19th.
October 19th.
Saturday night at the 404 Broadway, Denver, Colorado.
There you go.
You can follow us at Log Noise on Instagram. Keep up with us and find out about all our shows, including our new album that's out. Available on all the fine. It's available on Spotify and Columbia House Records.
Yeah. Spotify and Columbia House Records.
That's right.
And all you have to do is pay a penny, and you can get 12 of them.
You can.
You
Absolutely.
There you go.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, you do know that October 19th is Rita's birthday.
Well, there you go. There you go. Happy birthday.
Rita, well, the woman that Harry used to refer to as Rita.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sister was just out in Colorado.
She was. She didn't see me.
Visiting her son, my nephew.
Or you didn't see her.
Well, you know, I mean.
No, she wasn't.
Maybe I did.
I don't think they were in the Denver area.
Oh, okay.
They were Durango. It's a little bit of a ride from you.
Yes.
She said wherever they were, apparently the county they're in doesn't pave the county roads.
I don't know.
So the drive to her son's house was on a dirt road.
Lovely.
Her son sounds like he doesn't live in civilization.
He does. He lives a little bit outside of civilization. So.
Yeah.
But she had rented, I guess, a Jeep. So
there you go.
But, she said it was fun. It's a bit hairy nonetheless, but
there you go.
It's a bit hairy.
Yeah, somewhere north of Denver, I think. Up in the
okay.
I was kidding with the whole Durango thing. That was just me being silly.
But yeah, she had a very good time, and
there you go.
It's back home now.
And there you have it, folks. Pete's nephew and sister.
Pete's weekly extended family travel itinerary. Brought to you by
Travel Plans by everyone.
Brought to you by Log Noise.
Brought to you by Log Noise.
Yeah, it's a little segment we like to call "Where Everyone But Pete Is Going."
Exactly.
I don't go anywhere.
Exactly. All right, we got the memes. Let's do the
Let's
memes.
get to some memes here.
Get to some memes. Here we
So
go.
I'm jonesing for some memes.
You are, huh?
There we go.
Yeah.
We got a few. They're interesting tonight. So
that's different.
Well,
we're going a different direction.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Thank God. All right. We do take listener
yeah, exactly. So, in any event,
folks, in the past several months, we've gotten hundreds, if not thousands, of cards and letters and emails about the memes we do on this show.
Not one person liking it.
That we're gonna do them again.
Exactly. And despite of that, we're still gonna do them. Exactly.
Okay.
So anyway, all right. Here's the first one. Here we go.
All righty.
Beware of chalking.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
Is that
now
the second one a baby? That's a baby on the right.
I'm assuming it's a baby or a dog with a dog with a diaper and a very large head. One or the other.
Yeah, what I like is that the baby was crawling and the bag just happened to fall on its head. The guy on the left is actually holding the bag around
on his head, right?
Yeah.
He can't get it off, and he can't.
He may be doing something else here.
Yeah, we don't see his other hand.
Actually, that may be an adult on the right there as well. It could be a
no, it's not.
Could be a fetish thing. The baby fetish.
Yeah.
We have a comment, by the way, with this meme up. He says from Samurai, when you lack substance, you turn to memes. George Washington Carver.
That's right.
The man is dead, Lise.
It would be nice if the memes were entertaining.
Well, we're trying tonight. Wow. All right, so that's that. Beware of chalking.
By the way, Pete and I have nothing to do with the memes.
I know. By the way, if we're being aware of chalking, it has nothing to do with choking. But that's besides the point. Just wanted to say that. Moving on to the next one. Here we go. What if a zombie, a pack of lips, really happens? Then what y'all gonna do?
Yeah.
All right.
I ask myself that every week. I do
go.
like the what does that emoji mean? The sad, frustrated, confused.
That's kind of like right. That's
okay.
what that. Yeah.
Got you. What if a zombie?
A pack of lips, not apocalypse. A pack of lips.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
What if a zombie? A pack of lips.
I don't think zombies are known for their lips.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Samurai just said, entertaining. Why change the content of the show?
Exactly.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, moving on to the next one. I thought that was interesting. Moving on to the next one.
Not to be Samurai. I love you, brother. You know that. Why are you watching? We don't have lives and we do this, but you could be doing anything else.
Well, he had a couple cocktails and now he's ready to watch.
And now he's
all right.
There you go. Moving on to the next one.
We appreciate your
we absolutely
your viewership.
100%.
I love the Samurai.
Of course, as we all do. Right. Anyway, so based on this one, this next one's even more interesting. Here we go. Shamed by you English? You can speak soon and write like a graduate college if me let you help for a day of 15 minutes.
Yeah. The other thing I really like about this guy in the picture is that he looks like Paul Giamatti's insane brother.
And he's got his finger through one of the lenses of his glass.
Yeah. And they're backwards. So he's like, he never would have taken him off his face that way. Yeah.
Right. Where's the other arm?
It's like he took him off of someone else's face that was facing him.
Give me those.
I need glasses for this ad. Give me.
He's from the University of Verbatim.
In his defense.
Yes, that's actually University of Verbatim.
Listen, there's the logic here. If you good English not, sense this makes to you, so call him you do.
If you're Yoda?
If you're Yoda, absolutely. That's it. Maybe this is Frank Oz's cousin.
He also looks like the lead singer of the Smithereens.
This is aimed at people who are not good at English, so they will understand what he's saying. If he writes, if you would like to speak like a college graduate,
they won't get it.
they won't understand because they're terrible at English.
Yeah, now it makes sense.
Nah.
So he's aiming for his target audience is bad English folks.
I vote to treat the memes like Clay Holmes. Let's demote them.
There you go. Samurai just said, John told me to. That's why he's on tonight. And he said he actually gave me permission to troll. He said,
Well, thank God.
Well, yeah, really. It's the most action we've had from the audience in months.
There you go. All right. Moving on to the next one. Based again on this one. Illiterate, write for help. Write for free help. So, I don't know how, but okay.
Well, you go and you get the lead singer of the Smithereens to help you.
You take the class at the Verbatim University.
Verbatim. Yeah.
And then you write for free help.
That's right.
You pay to write the letter, and then you send it in for free help.
Absolutely.
So you hire Giamatti's cousin
right.
or whatever,
right.
And you say, "Can you help me write to the Illiteracy Foundation?"
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Yeah,
exactly.
One
all
day,
right.
15 minutes. That's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
Just one look. That's all it took.
And the Illiteracy Foundation is at 806 Main Street.
That's right.
I don't know where, just 806 Main Street, USA. Right?
That's
United States.
Verbatim.
165.
Verbatim, Virginia.
Verbatim, Virginia. There you go. All right. Moving on to the next one. Has nothing to do with this one. We have, it's an oil change place. Oil quickly.
Huh? So, I hope so.
well, quickly. This is like, I think this was a pit crew originally. And their driver obviously was found sponsorless, so he just retired. And they opened up an oil change place.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or it's like three guys that went through the first week of the automotive training.
And said, we're just going to do oil changes. That's it.
And then they ran out of money, and they're like, well, we can do oil changes, so we'll just do that. And we'll do it quickly.
And we'll do them quick. That'll be our thing. That'll be our
They only went through the first week of the Lincoln Tech automotive
report. Right, exactly. All right, moving on to the next one. We have a CVS pharmacy receipt, extra care coupon, $1 off Poland Spring 12-pack. Fits great in your purse.
That's true of my wife. She has a gigantic bag that she carries. She could definitely carry a 12-pack.
Could you in your purse? My purse is small. So.
Yeah, listen, if it was, depending on what it was a 12-pack of, I would perhaps graduate to a larger satchel.
I could actually be convinced into buying a larger.
Yeah.
There you go. Harry's just not ignoring this one. He's just passing over this one.
Are we still on? Are we still in the air?
There you go. Exactly. All right. Moving on to the next one.
I didn't think the Asian food content could be better than anything, but I've been proven wrong.
You've been proven wrong. So, but wait. There might be more.
There's more.
Go. There's only a couple more. Here we go. So,
right.
This one, speaking of food-ish, we have this one here. We have frozen ice.
Well, that's awesome.
Yes.
We also have unfrozen ice.
In
exactly. Bottles.
And they're 12-packs, so they fit right in your purse.
Right.
Nice and light.
Exactly.
Right.
So.
Just need, because what I want to do is I want to kill the environment with a plethora of small, tiny plastic bottles.
Absolutely. So, and it doesn't say that the 12-pack of Poland Spring is a small plastic bottle. It could be the 16-ounce bottle. So even them, depending on the size of your purse, they don't fit great in your purse, but whatever. Either way, you have frozen ice to cool them down.
There you go.
Next one, you're going to like this next one. All right. It's no throwing pizzas past this point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What is special about that point?
I don't know.
I bet there's a line above that, and it's inside a pizza parlor. Or is that on the outside of a building?
Looks like the outside.
It's on the outside of a building. Yeah, it's. I cropped it just to fit on the screen, but it's on the outside of the building. No throwing pizzas past this point.
I think this might have been one of those crazy Photoshop things.
No, it was actually on the side of a building.
Oh, how do you know that?
Well, because I saw the building.
Oh, you did? You took this photo?
I did.
Wow. No, you
didn't. So now,
No.
I will tell you this. I think somebody just graffitied it there, but I thought it was interesting. I'm sure it means something to somebody.
Everything does.
Yeah, everything does. Anyway, and the last one of the night. Here we go. Cooking with poo. Here we go.
Yeah. She looks like she's really enjoying herself.
She's enjoying cooking with poo.
Is that her first name or last name?
You know, I thought it was her name, but I think her name is Sayud Diwang.
Well, her nickname's Pooh.
Her nickname is Pooh. There you go.
Yeah.
Or maybe
her American name is Winnie.
Pooh.
I see where you went there. There you go. All right. Yeah. Those are the memes for tonight. Cooking with poo is the last one. There you go. And Samurai just commented, and again he says, "Are there any sports on this show?" Yeah, we're getting to them.
You wish.
You wish.
You're in the wrong place, pal.
Makes sense. There are times at the log room, guys. It's all about sports. There you go.
Well, yeah. Thank God somebody's doing it, because I'm sure we're going to be talking about something that no one cares about.
Maybe John shoots his load on the log room, guys, and has nothing left for get on with it. There you go.
I would imagine so. We know where his priorities lie.
There you go. All right. All right. Moving on. Let's talk about that ball of foot. How's that? Teams suck. All right. But I will tell you this: Green Bay with Malik Willis. All right, Malik Willis, right? His first name's Malik, right? Backup for Jordan Love. Shocked me. I didn't think they were going to win. I didn't think they were going to be able to win that game, but they did, and that's why I'm wearing this tonight.
You're repping Green
That's
Bay.
why I'm repping this.
Who did
Today that they're saying Jordan Love might even be back for week 3.
Yeah, they're talking about that. Yeah, he'll be back. I think he will. It was a very low grade sprain, not a strain.
Is a sprain worse than a strain?
I don't know. Whatever's lighter, that's what it was.
Okay, it was a strain light.
Well, listen, they might want to hold him out because their Packers are playing the Titans this week, who are really just not very good.
They're not very good. Not very good. I mean,
they want to keep what's his name in there,
Willis,
at least for the first half, and see how they're doing.
Wasn't Malik Willis on the Titans?
For all I know, yes.
I think he was.
The Titans aren't very good, but they almost beat the Jets.
Yeah, that's
I mean, they almost beat the Jets, but Aaron Rodgers threw to a 20-year-old receiver, and they won the game.
Okay, so other than the Carolina Panthers, who are the next two worst teams in the NFL so far?
Giants and Giants and
well, I mean the
Giants and the Giants.
The Commanders are not very good.
Look, they beat the Giants. I think the Broncos.
The Commanders didn't beat the Giants. The Giants beat themselves. But
wow, I think the Broncos are.
The Broncos are not
good. Broncos are not good. Broncos are not good. Broncos are not good.
And I don't know. I think do you think the Titans are better than the Giants?
I do.
Yeah,
but not by much.
Not by much, but I do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Jaguars really aren't very good.
Jaguars don't look great, but they have more potential.
They do.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a team that I think is done, and I think I picked them to win. I think the Rams are done.
I think they are too.
They should have beat the Lions in game 1, and now they're done. They're cooked. They're too hurt.
And I'm shocked. And Harry, you were right. The Bucks are actually way better than I thought they'd be.
That's the only thing I've gotten right this
way better than I thought they'd be
season. I think I have two.
Yeah.
I think I have 2 wins in all of my games, and both of them were the Bucks.
I actually had room because I put 2 players on the IR on one of my fantasy teams. I actually picked up, for shits and giggles, Baker Mayfield. And I read somewhere, and I didn't look at the stats, so don't quote me on this, but I saw it was either in a reel or I read somewhere, I forget what it was, but somebody somewhere said that stat-wise, the best quarterback in the NFL right now is Baker Mayfield.
Well, it depends on what stat you look at, but if you're looking at passing yards, Brock Purdy is.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking at QBR or something like that, then yeah, you can get into that a little bit more.
There you go.
But
and
I'll tell you what, the 49ers don't look all that great.
They don't. Samurai just said Washington's kicker beat the Giants, and then he said Baker seems to be growing up in Tampa.
Yeah, I think you get out of these miserable places, and I mean, look at Sam Darnold. Look at David Carr. David Carr might be the story of the, Gardner Minshew. It's just if you're looking at yards, the top 3 passing yards right now are Brock Purdy, Matthew Stafford, and Gardner Minshew.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy.
What do you think is a better examination of a quarterback, QBR or the quarterback rating?
Are they the same?
No, they're not.
I don't. How is each one calculated? I don't even know.
Yeah. Well, I'll just.
What QBR quarterback rating? What does QBR stand for?
Well, it's an overall passing rated, and it's adjusted QBR. So.
Oh, okay. The overall passer rating and then adjusted QBR. Yeah. I got you.
So if you're looking at overall passer rating, okay.
I go overall passer rating.
All right. So here's the top 3: Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, and Kyler Murray.
I'll go with that.
Sam Darnold coming in the top 5.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
That's
I'll
crazy.
Go with that. Yeah.
Now, if we go QBR, which is a slightly different metric, guess what? Derek Carr is still number 1. Kyler Murray is number 2. Josh Allen's number 3, and Geno Smith and Sam Darnold are tied for number 4, with Baker Mayfield rounding out the top. That, my friends, is insane.
Yeah.
But we got 2 games.
I was just going to say, can I just remind everybody, we're 2 games in.
Still.
Quarterbacks.
Well,
had a couple of good games.
Passing's down, rushing is up. I'll tell you who needs the team that I think needs to fire their offensive coordinator, and I think has had the worst head coaching, is the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah,
only because they've lost 2 games. If not, I would say Nick Sirianni. But you have Derrick Henry. You have a guy who can close out games for you. There's no reason that you should be losing 2 games where you were up by 10 points in the 4th quarter. You just shouldn't be. And I'll tell you what, Lamar Jackson is not a closer. They need to hand the ball off to Derrick Henry, and they need to change their game plan quick, or else guess what? This might be a lost season for the Baltimore Ravens.
I got to be honest.
A lot of people had going to the Super Bowl.
I got to be honest with you. I like John Harbaugh as a coach. I do. I think he's got a good mind. I think he's a good coach. He needs a break. He needs to leave Baltimore. He needs a year or 2 off, go in a booth somewhere, commentate, and then get back in another.
I'll tell you where if he wants just a summer off, and if he wants to come back,
off
and coach a team, and it's not that far of a travel. I was going to say the New York Giants.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you right now.
Now if he could bring Lamar Jackson with him. Not that I'm a big Lamar Jackson fan, but any quarterback you find on the turnpike.
Well, if he suits up himself,
right?
So, but on that note, though, that you said that, it's funny you said that because you just brought up Nick Sirianni too. Depending on how things go, both for of course, the Giants, but also for the Eagles, I would not be shocked, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it would not shock me to see Bill Belichick being in charge of everything on either in New York or in Philly, one or the other next year.
I think I would love it for it to be the Giants. However, I think that there is not the same love that Belichick had for the Giants with the current ownership situation. And
they were both involved. Well, no, you know what? That's not exactly true.
Not true.
No, that's not true because Steve Tisch, right? Steve Tisch, the son of Bob Tisch, right? Steve Tisch was not involved. Neither was Bob Tisch when Belichick was there. Belichick left because Bob Tisch bought Tim Mara's shares back in '91. So that's why he left. So Steve Tisch has no, relationship Giants-wise with Belichick. John Mara does, though. So that's all I'm saying.
I think the front office would definitely need to go. I also think that we need to just follow the 49ers and the Kansas City. A couple other teams that have consistently over the last 5-6 years had great offensive lines. and just whoever they don't draft, get the list of the next 4 top picks that they were going to pick and just pick them. Because the Giants cannot pick an offensive lineman to save their life.
No, they can't. No, they can't.
Having said that,
the Giants' offensive line is incrementally better this year than it was.
Wait a minute.
I watched the whole Giants game with not one other game on anywhere around me at a Giants bar in Denver. Occidental, by the way, if you guys want to go
Occidental.
there.
Absolutely.
And I don't think look, Singletary looked good. The Giants were opening up holes. Their running game looked good.
It did.
And I don't think the pass blocking for Daniel Jones, I think it was the best pass blocking game I've seen out of the Giants
in a long time.
Now, they were playing the Commodores. I understand that. But
I like Commandos, but either or.
Yeah. So there's my assessment. It was I don't throw that loss on the Giants offense. I don't necessarily
I throw that loss on the front office and the coaching staff. Because it's absolute bullshit that they didn't have. Graham Gano has been injured several times lately, and it's bullshit that they did not have somebody behind them to back up.
They thought Zeus could kick it. So here's the other thing I'm going to say. The Giants offense gave up a lot of yards to a team that had not had a 100-yard runner in forever. But they didn't bend. They bend, but they didn't break. As Pete mentioned earlier, 7 field goals. I didn't walk away from that Giants loss feeling as much despair as I usually do. Having said that, I still don't see them winning more than 4 to 5 games this year.
I'm at 3. I'm at 3 games. So you're ahead of me, and that's a rarity.
I said no more than 4 or 5.
No. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I wouldn't even go that far as to say that. I got him at 3 right now.
You're finally seeing clearly.
And Harry, I'm going back to the early '80s. This is probably the first time that you have the Giants winning more games than I do right now.
But let me ask Pete something about the Jets. I also watched that game. And I felt as if, again, they not great competition, not a good team necessarily in Tennessee, a team that's lacking some leadership on the offensive side of the ball. But I have concerns about the Jets defense, big concerns about the Jets defense, which was supposed to be their calling card. I don't know.
Yeah, how did they improve and actually get worse? How did that happen?
Well,
they were a good, solid defense last year. They won the games they won clearly won because of defense last year, right? So, and the games that they almost won, like the Chiefs game and some other things that they were close in because of the defense, right? So they improved but got worse. How did that happen?
All right, first let me get caught up with everything else that was said. Don't worry about don't forget, one of the Ravens' losses was to the Chiefs, and the Chiefs win every game because they're the darlings of the NFL, as we've seen this past week.
But they lost to the Las Vegas Raiders.
They did, and that should be concerning. And
they looked horrible.
And that should be concerning if you're
that's
a Ravens
that's the concern that I have Baltimore wise.
Yeah, because
Las Vegas, not the Chiefs.
And
game.
I agree with.
It wasn't that the Raiders played great; it was that the Ravens did not play well.
Yes, and I agree with everything else you said.
Yeah.
Because Jackson does not close well, and you got to lean on Henry.
Same thing with Cincinnati. I'm less concerned about the second loss because they actually beat Kansas City, but they're still 0-2. So
right, yeah.
We all know what happened.
They are.
Yeah.
As far as the Jets go, look, it probably was not fair to expect the Jets defense to remain as good this year. Quite as good this year as it was last year, because in any particular order or in no particular order, teams are going to be scheming against it because it was pretty good last year. And they don't have quite the same personnel, although they have many of them. So it's fair to think there might be a little bit of a drop off. Also, I think the offense was so bad, with rare exception, and so terrible that I think there was not that the Jets defense was not very good, but that was just kind of the Jets defense is really good. That was a statement that after probably week 6, didn't really need to be re-examined or really dug into anymore. Not that it wasn't true, because it was all about the offense and how bad it was and how insane it was. And the defense just being great was taken for granted. Yeah. And they were very good. So they're not playing as well as they did last year, or certainly as well as everybody expects. Maybe they're not quite as good. Maybe they're not as good. Or maybe they're... I mean, we all knew what San Francisco was going to do by the middle of the first quarter in week 1. Run between the tackles. Not with Christian McCaffrey. And they did it the whole game. And the Jets
didn't have an answer for
it. They didn't have an answer for it. Now, is that because they lost half their defensive players and they don't? No. Is it because...
It's because they didn't sign Hassan Reddick. That's why. That's
part of it. Yeah, they probably could have used him there. They would have been better with him than without him.
Sure.
But, what did the defensive coaching staff do differently?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's hard to sell out on the run all the time in that situation because there's weapons through the air through San Francisco. So, and look, San Francisco has not looked great, but they're still one of the better teams in the NFC. So I don't worry about that too much. They did not play great against the Titans. A couple people asked me what I thought about this past game, and I said the Jets won, and that's what we look at. They didn't play great. They made some mistakes, but they got enough done to get the win. And maybe we need to stop thinking about the Jets as a great defensive team.
They're not.
Oh, it's Aaron Rodgers who's going to lead them to the promised land because their offense was so terrible. And start thinking, okay, they're maybe a good defensive team, but maybe not good enough to carry them. And maybe they just need a little bit more time together. I don't know.
I think that's part of it. I do agree with that.
But I think the idea, like look at all the preconceptions hitting into this season that have been at least partially blown up.
Right.
The Ravens have looked terrible. Cincinnati doesn't have a win. San Francisco hasn't looked good. The Jets defense hasn't been great.
San Francisco.
The Rams are a mess right now. Yeah. Although they have a lot of injuries, right? So I mean, the Bucks beat the fucking Lions.
Yeah, and the Lions
the Vikings beat the 49ers.
And the Lions were lucky to win week 1. Look, the 49ers are dealing with holdouts and injuries.
Let me just say this. All of that stuff that the media's been hyping for months now, heading into the season, maybe not all of it is true.
Yeah, right.
Maybe all of it sounds great and gets clicks and gets you to read stories.
Fair enough.
But maybe we need to actually look at what happens on the field and say, that's the reality, not what our preconceptions were. Because just look at the first 2 weeks. It's been nuts with the things we just mentioned. These teams losing to these teams, and not one of those mid-season letdowns or our bye week is until week 9 and the team is a little bit tired. And so, a team like, let's say the Lions or whoever, and they had a little skip and you know what I mean? Maybe they're, maybe they're still one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the conference, but maybe they're just overall not as good as we've been led to believe or told by the sports media.
No, they're not one of the top 3 or 4 teams.
No, I mean, I think
I think they're a middle of the road
on the field
team
is the reality of the situation. With the Jets, their defense, maybe it's not elite. Maybe it's just good. Yeah. Maybe it's very good, but maybe it's not elite.
I think the problem with the Jets is that I'm not sure Robert Saleh is a great head coach. And I always want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I just don't get warm fuzzies.
I do too, but I don't see what effect is he having on any of this.
Nothing. And if he really wanted to concentrate on what he's known for, then this defense would be punching people in the mouth and taking names.
Exactly.
And so
Robert, keep in mind, people, in case you've forgotten, they didn't win, but Robert Saleh was the defensive coordinator of the 49ers when they went to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs in 2020.
Right. So yeah, and look, and we also shouldn't think everything will be fine with them offensively as long as Aaron Rodgers is around.
Oh, I agree. I think Aaron Rodgers is a really good game manager right now, and he's just sort of admitted that.
He's not the MVP winning Aaron Rodgers.
No.
And he
not even
missed
close.
all of last year.
Not even close. He hasn't had a 300-yard passing game in like 3 years.
Yeah, and he wasn't
one of those years
playing.
He was injured, but yeah.
He wasn't playing last year, but he was still. He still gets older.
Yeah,
you don't have to be on the football field. I get older. My body breaks down every year, and I'm not a professional football player.
Well, so your body breaks down every year. My body breaks down every day. But that's
there you go. So so again, the story of the Jets: elite, great defense, going to give up 11 points a game, and Aaron Rodgers is going to come back and lead them to victory. That was a sack of shit that we were sold by the sports media. 100%. It just wasn't true.
Anybody that's not just so enveloped in the fandom and the rhetoric and the bullshit that the media provides when it comes to sports knew damn well that it was a stretch to say, "Oh, the Jets are in the mix for the Super." Come on, sure. They haven't done dick yet, and you're going to say they're in the mix for the Super Bowl.
I picked him to go to the Super Bowl.
New York media bias.
And I picked him to go to the Super Bowl, and I picked him to win, not because I really believe that's going to happen, but because it's a great story if it does. Mm-hmm. It's a possibility. Sure, anything's a possibility.
Anything's a possibility. It's a great
story if it does. And
this
then
this year, the Super Bowl. Right now, this year could very well be the Super Bowl. Could be the Titans and the Panthers.
No, it won't.
No. It could be. It's not going to be, but it could. Yeah, it can be.
After
we're week 2.
After the Bengals game, it's going to be the Chiefs.
Let's not be ridiculous.
Hey! The Panthers benched Bryce Young. They're turning it around, buddy. They're turning it around.
Really quick. Okay, out of the teams that are 2-0, I think we expected the Bills and the Chiefs, and I would say maybe the Texans to be there. Although the Texans did not really impress me against the Bears. Other than that, we've got the Saints, the Vikings, the Chargers, the Seahawks, the Steelers, and the Tampa Bay Bucks, all at 2-0.
Yep.
If you had to pick one of those that's most impressed you, who is it?
Most impressed me? Over expectations? Is that what you're asking me?
Who's impressed you the most? Other than the Bills, Chiefs, and Texans.
This is
the Bucks. The Bucks.
Are they for real? I'm going to do this. This is they for real?
We'll do it.
But let's do it right now. We don't need the music.
Yeah.
We need the music. We need the music.
No. Let's keep going. We got a flow going.
Teams. Who's the most for real?
Go ahead. Pick one.
Well, that's a different story. Hold on. That's a different.
Who's impressed you? Who do you think?
Let's separate them. Let's separate. We'll do Are They For Real later.
To be able to continue.
That's different. That's different. Who's the most for real? Who's going to be able to continue is a different question than who's impressed me so far.
All right. So who's impressed?
Impressed me so far? The Buccaneers. The Buccaneers of the 2-0 teams. The Buccaneers and the Vikings. The Vikings.
I would say normally I would have said the Vikings, but I'll tell you a team I hate them. But they have looked just incredible. And they're plus 62 in 2 games is the Saints.
Saints, yeah.
I mean, let's give credit where credit is due.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, holy smokes. These guys
I have more faith in the Bucs and the Saints. I would say the Saints even ahead of the Bucs than I do in the Vikings to continue.
Because
different story, different question. Right. Who's impressed me so far? And I'll give to Harry that one too. The Saints have it actually, especially over the Cowboys in Texas last week.
After a big Cowboys win the game week 1.
100%. Yeah, the Cowboys just. I mean, they didn't just win the game, but they could have. It wasn't like they blew out. They just like. Ran away with the game in the first week.
Well,
yeah. I mean, Dak Prescott had 116 yards passing.
Passing's down. Passing's down all over the place.
That's another story, and I want to talk about that later.
But they won 33-17 against not that horrible of a Cleveland team. It's Cleveland team that, by the way, bounced back and won this week.
Right.
So,
and if they win, and if they win on that note, if Cleveland if Cleveland wins this week. I'm 100% putting money down the fact that the Giants will not win more than 3 games. So,
yeah, and the Browns won, but not convincingly over.
Still, they won. After looking miserable, they won and beat a Jacksonville team that's got problems.
Right.
And look, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I said this from the very get-go when everybody was so high on Trevor Lawrence. I never saw in Trevor Lawrence what I saw in Joe Burrow or some other.
Oh, hell no. Trevor Lawrence, you look at Trevor Lawrence's stats, and this has been well documented. Look at Trevor Lawrence's stats. Trevor Lawrence is Daniel Jones. Their stats are almost fucking identical.
You could call him a bust.
They're almost identical.
I mean,
Daniel Jones, Trevor Lawrence.
Look, here's the other thing I want to bring up. And this is a testament to somebody like CJ Stroud, who's been able to now have not only one great rookie year, but has started off fairly well in his second campaign. Yeah. If you go back through the history of the NFL, rookie quarterbacks struggle. They struggle.
They do.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a lot of that this year. These rookie quarterbacks look horrible.
They do.
And that's okay. It's okay.
It's okay if they figure it out. It's not okay if they don't.
Yeah. The Bears did not win because of Caleb Williams.
Oh, no.
And there's been moments where I see something with Bo Nix, but it's just they can't see the field the way they need to. And the speed of the defensive backs, they think they're throwing into an area that is open and the coverage collapses and it just looks horrible. I don't know. The offensive play for some teams has been ugly. Now, rushing is up, passing is down. We all expected that. There's no preseason anymore. There's a lot of people that held out. There's some injuries. We get all that.
Yeah, but defenses come together before offenses do generally. So,
but I'll tell you right now, the two dunce caps I'm going to be given is to the Baltimore Ravens for their game plan in both games. And number two, I'm telling you, man, I cannot believe the Philadelphia Eagles lost that game to, I think, a struggling Atlanta team that should be 0-2. That was how they could not run the clock out at the end of the game.
On that note,
and again, one more thing. And again, why is it impossible to stop a team that you've stopped the whole game in the last minute of the fourth quarter?
It took them less than a minute to go 70 yards.
Why?
Yeah.
And we're not talking about Patrick Mahomes. We're talking about Kirk Cousins. Now, and I don't mean disrespect to Kirk Cousins by that.
Kirk Cousins is the best Kirk Cousins in the league.
Yeah, exactly. Kirk Cousins is not Patrick Mahomes by any means. But on that note, right? Why are you throwing the ball to Saquon? And I can't stand the Eagles. Obviously, I'm a Giants fan. But
by the way,
why are you throwing the ball to Saquon on that down?
By the way, Saquon, you should have caught that. Fuck you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But why are you throwing the ball on third down? I don't care if he loses 5 yards. The clock still runs.
You're running the clock. Yeah. Yeah. Stupidity.
And here's my last thing. These fucking kickoffs. God, I hate them.
It's just stupid. Just don't do it.
I hate it.
Give him the ball on 30, call it a day. Stop.
Yeah, that seems
why,
like
why
everybody.
Why at the 30?
Why are we wasting time?
Scoring
or
down,
20, 25, whatever.
20.
It doesn't matter.
Go back to the 20. I don't like it at the 30. That's why people can score at the end of the game, because they're starting at the 30-yard line. They didn't earn anything. Right. You want it at the 30, run it.
No kickoff. Somebody scores. The next team gets the ball on the 20-yard line. Call it a fucking day. Done.
Yeah. Nobody. Excellent. It seems like nobody really wants to run the kickoff back. No. All right, I think we had.
Although the Giants did it once or twice on Sunday.
No, there was one run back for a touchdown in Miami in game one.
That ran that, but I mean, you don't. If it's in the end zone, you don't have to run it back.
No.
Right. You know, you can kind of whatever. The only time really they run it back is when it doesn't go into the end zone, because, you know, you kind of have to, or else you're just going to sit at the 3-yard line or whatever it is. Or if it's at the 10 or something, you don't want to take a chance that it doesn't bounce into the end zone and then it gets down inside, you know, deep in the territory. But it doesn't seem like anyone is really that interested in giving anyone the opportunity to run.
No, they're not.
Back.
They're not.
Because once you break through that mass, just that one little line, you got to break through. And you got a guy with some speed, as most kickoff returners have.
Exactly.
And he's gone.
I think personally, I think everybody's still feeling it out. I think by the end of the season, you're going to see some of that. I think you are. By the end of the season, you're going to see some of that. You're going to see some of these guys actually saying, "All right, yeah, we could do this," because they're not coming at us at 90 miles an hour. We don't have a million people. There are holes that wouldn't be there if they were running from the kickoff. So I think by the end of the season,
why isn't Tyreek Hill returning kickoffs?
Yeah, you're gonna see this. You're gonna see runbacks. You're gonna see touchdowns. You're gonna see touchdowns scored or ridiculously, stupidly good field position by the end of the season because of these. You're gonna see that, and that's what the NFL wants. That's what the NFL wants. They don't give a shit of who's. Yeah, I mean, well, other than the fact that they want the Chiefs to win every year, they don't care who else wins, right? They just want action. They want people to watch, and that's what what this is about. And it covers their safety issue by not sending them at the same time.
Yeah. So, the safety of my television is going to require that not every fucking commercial has a Kelsey brother or Patrick Mahomes in it.
Hey, come on. You know that's where the NFL and media is right now. It's all about the Chiefs. The Chiefs. And I was going to say this before, and I'll just say this and leave it at that. We can talk about it if you want, whatever you want to do. But
we all know
the NFL. Yeah, the NFL right now, the Chiefs are more the Patriots right now than the Patriots were.
Well, the Patriots didn't have the Patriots. There's no comparison. There's no comparison.
No. As far as
I don't think the refs gave the Patriots anything.
No. I mean, that's my point. Yeah. That's my point. The Chiefs are more the Patriots than the Patriots ever were.
It's guaranteed to be there.
Right. That's my point. Yeah.
Patriots earned it. I'll tell you what. Number one, I don't think that last call, if it's flipped, gets called on Kansas City as pass interference.
Hell no. Right? No, if it was an offensive player going up for the ball behind the defensive player, 100% there's no flag.
No, number two.
No flag.
Number two. I'm still not convinced that fumble, that Burrow's fumble, was a fumble. From everything that I saw, he was down.
Yeah, it's close. They just couldn't overturn it.
But why? Again, if it was Mahomes, the assumption would have been
he did
down by contact.
No, yeah, the call would have been down by contact, and they would have had to overturn that 100%. Well, but this is my point. This is my point.
All right, what do we got next?
All right,
yeah. I'll just say I watched the pass interference call, and by the letter of the law,
it was,
and with the officials guy explaining it, yes. He was on his back a little bit early, sort of impeded his ability to get up and catch.
No way he was going to catch that.
But it shouldn't have been called. Not in that situation. Not what was it, a
bingo
16?
But but here's the thing now, and I watched somebody talk about this too. If you've established your area to catch a ball, if you've established where you're standing to try and go up for the ball, and somebody backs into you. That's not your fault.
Right, yeah. I mean, the defensive back is facing the ball and has just as much a right to the ball as the receiver does.
100%.
So, again, the way it was explained by the letter of the law as a technicality, yes, I think you can make that call, but it never should have been made.
As Harry said, too, you flip that. The receiver established his domain, and the offensive player backed into him. Or the defensive player backed into him.
Right. Yeah. Or what I was saying is that if it was Cincinnati on defense or on offense and Kansas City on defense, that call doesn't.
Oh, you flip it that way too. Yeah, 100%. Either way, it doesn't get called. Yeah, you're right.
Anyway,
but that was the problem. They had to actually with the call for Burrow. It was called a fumble.
Right.
What Mahomes, it would not have been called a fumble.
I agree.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So anyway, all right.
What else we got?
All right, a little bit of football housekeeping.
Yeah.
In our same, better, or worse categories, we have C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Richardson, and Will Levis. And I'm going to put Bryce Young
on the bottom.
CJ, you said same. Harry, you said same as far as this year by comparison to last year. I said better. I think we're all wrong. I think he's having a worse year.
Worse.
I think he looks exactly the same. Horrible.
No, he does look. When I said the same, and I'm pretty sure Harry meant that too. When I said the same, I meant bad.
Yeah.
So
I agree. But he's benched, so worse.
All right.
So we're gonna go with him being worse, and none of us picked worse. So
there you go.
Although I agree with what you guys are saying. So there's just want to go up on that. By the way, Aaron Rodgers over under plays for the season 4.5. We all took the over. We were all right. He did.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And Colorado, the Buffaloes have 2 wins. So that over under for wins for this season for them was also 4.5. So we have yet to see. Still several more weeks left in the season, but they're
a lot more. Yeah.
Although
they're
Nebraska,
they're halfway there.
Nebraska looks good, and they whipped their ass.
Nebraska does.
Yeah, they did. They did. But they beat up on Colorado State. And also for baseball, very quickly, down to the wire. Yankees in Baltimore. Yankees are now +4. So obviously Baltimore's not running away with it, as I predicted.
Baltimore can't win a game.
Nope.
No, they can't.
I mean, the Yankees are playing okay. Baltimore's horrible.
Minnesota KC. KC is up by a game and a half, so that one's still close. Houston, Seattle. Houston is up by 5. So Harry, looks like you were right. Houston's running away with that one. St. Louis, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is in the cellar now, so I was wrong about them. And Arizona, San Diego. San Diego now +2. So that one's still close. So down to the wire, Minnesota, KC, Arizona, San Diego. Still in play, but the other ones are, I mean, things could change, of course. Still got a little time left in the season, but looks like I was wrong about Pittsburgh. Harry was right about Houston, and I was wrong about Baltimore.
This is true.
If you look at if you look at the stats for pitching, and just since the All-Star break towards the end of the season, it's amazing. I mean, it's just that there's certain teams that are finally back on track. I think Houston is one of them, and I'll tell you what. I mean, I think this year is the biggest toss-up in Major League Baseball in a long time. We're not going
to have we converted to baseball at this point?
Yeah,
because it's more than football to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, the only other thing I wanted to say is our quarterback shelf life.
Yeah,
everybody's still in there.
Yeah.
Although if Russell Wilson doesn't come back, I think in the next 2 weeks,
then we have to say he's the first one out.
We might have to say, because it's not official that it's an injury,
and he's going to be tossed.
That was the rule, that it's not by injury; it's by getting yanked for.
Let me ask a question on that. Okay, I mean,
if they're not putting him in for the first month of the season, then I think
Pittsburgh 2-0, and Justin Fields has looked bad. If he is healthy,
do you put him in?
Do you start him?
I do. He's got a short leash, but I
think Tomlin has to, because he's Mike Tomlin, and Mike Tomlin said Russell Wilson's the starter.
You know what? I can't believe I'm about to say this. Justin Fields has looked bad. Now he's 2-0, so that's great.
The 2-0 in spite of Justin Fields' play. So
right, I think you gotta give. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Anyway,
but everybody else still in it.
All right, so we still got more football. Sorry.
Oh yeah, we got plenty of time.
Exactly. So
you guys tell me what's next.
You want to do fantasy football next, or
I think it's time that we do. I think it's time that we do.
There's no fantasy about any of this year for me. I'm fucked.
Listen, we're only 2 weeks in, Harry.
I'm fucked.
And there's no way your team could be.
There's no way. No.
I only have 2 wins out of 2
weeks. Yeah, but
you got 3.
You got 3.
3? Okay, that makes me feel a little bit.
There you go.
3 wins.
You're 0-2 in league.
Get on with it, podcast fantasy football league.
There you go.
All right. So, quick recap of the first 2 weeks. Week 1, Jersey Johnny got 3 wins and beat Harry Lug Nutz 3-2. That was a squeaker.
Yeah, we're both.
And I lost to the fucking coin 5-4. I put 4 wins up on the board.
4 wins and lost.
And this is exactly what I was talking about.
The only reason the coin didn't have 6 is because they had Dallas and Cleveland, who played each other. He only got 1 point for that. So, Harry and the coin 1-0. John and the coin 1-0. Harry and me 0-1 after week 1.
Pete with the most wins out of other than the coin.
Week 2, I took on Jersey Johnny, beat him 4-3.
So you got 8 wins already.
I have 8 total wins, and I'm 1-1 in league play. John has 6 wins. He's 1-1 in league play. The Coin is 2-0 after beating Harry 3-1, and you got rooked. You got rooked in the Cincinnati game.
Yeah.
There's no way Baltimore should have lost that game. So it was tough. You got the win from Tampa Bay there.
Yeah.
So the Coin is 2-0 and Harry is 0-2. So Coin's on top. Me and Johnny in second. You're only, like I said, you're only a game out of second place.
I'm only a game out of second place, but I'm just.
You're not. The win total is
3 wins.
The win total is the
Dismal.
tiebreaker, and that's not good.
Yeah.
But look, there's no way Baltimore can be that bad.
No.
Cincinnati is. I think I sent you the stats about how they start
Yeah,
slow.
I know.
Thanks
for making me feel better, Pete.
Tampa
Looking
Bay
at
is
it,
pretty
looking
good.
at it realistically on a good week, and I also was hoping Miami was one of my ringers, and now who knows who their quarterback's going to be. So I think on a good week, I might get 3 wins. I think I'm going to cap out at that. Anyway, we'll see.
Now, Atlanta is going to be a swing for you.
Yeah, it
If
is.
they are at all,
I should have played them. I didn't.
If they are at all good, like everybody said they were going to be,
But they're not.
then you could get some wins out of them. But if they're not, that's going to be
100%.
tough. It's going to be tough.
All right.
Tampa Bay might be your savior, but do
we have to make our picks on the air or no?
We're gonna make our picks. I will tell you, the Coin is going with the same top 6.
Okay.
Although there was a lot of movement in the power rankings this week.
Okay.
The Raiders made it all the way up from 30th to 24th, but they still did not make the top 6 for the Coin because Cleveland's at 22. So we got San Francisco, Detroit, Dallas, the Clippers, the Browns, and the Sea Chickens.
And what's the matchup? What's the matchups this week?
Jersey Johnny now takes on the Coin.
Mm-hmm.
This will be the end of our first cycle, so everybody will have played everybody once.
You and I go head to head. Okay.
And you and I go head to head.
All right. Well, let's make our
picks.
So,
who wants to go first, John?
Yeah, I guess I will. All right. Well, I'm not taking Arizona. Like my teams are the Chiefs, the Packers, the Texans, the Bears, the Cardinals, the Colts, the Giants, and the Patriots. Those are my 8 teams.
Yep.
We're picking six games. I am not going with the Giants against the Browns. I'm not.
And who's the other team you're not taking?
And I'm not taking the Cardinals against the Lions. Although maybe I should, but I don't think the Lions are going 1-2. After last week, I think Lions.
You don't think they're going 0-3 or 1-2? Yeah, they're 1-1 right now.
1-1, right? Yeah. So, the Lions are a better team than the Cardinals, and I know the game's in Arizona, but I don't buy it. So I'm going Chiefs. You writing this, RadioPete?
I'm highlighting these teams.
I'm going Chiefs.
Bolding them.
I'm going.
He already told you the 2 he's not taking. So.
Yeah, I'm going Chiefs over the Falcons. I'm going the Packers over the Titans. I'm going the Texans over the Vikings.
Ooh, that's a good one, Texans.
Yeah, I know it's tough, but I have more faith in them than the other 2. I
agree.
I'm going the Bears over the Colts. That's a given.
Yep.
I'm going the Colt. I'm taking.
Oh, you're putting the Colts in.
I'm throwing the Colts in there just in case.
So you're going to get a point. Yeah.
I'll get a point one way or the other there. And I'm taking the Patriots over the Jets. Sorry.
Yeah, no, don't be sorry. I think that's probably the good bet.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. While Harry is working his brain, I'll let you know what my picks are just to give him a few more seconds.
Fair enough.
Let's see. I got Philly. I have the Jets over the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Got Philly. I don't even know who they're playing.
Philly's playing the Saints.
Okay, yeah. I got Philly and the Saints. So I'm getting a point one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Jets over New England. I got Buffalo beating whoever. I forget.
Buffalo is playing
the Jaguars.
Yeah, Buffalo's playing Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I got Pittsburgh, and I got Washington. Taking Washington over the 0-2 Bengals.
Wow.
Just because I don't trust Tennessee, and I trust Washington over the Bengals more than Tennessee or the Rams.
There you go.
Yeah, Rams are beat up.
Yeah, Rams are beating.
All right.
So Philly, Jets, Buffalo, New Orleans, Pittsburgh, Washington.
Yeah. I have both the Denver Broncos and the Jacksonville Jaguars in my roster. So they are collectively playing Buffalo and Tampa Bay, respectively. So they're the two that I'm leaving out this week. I'm going with Baltimore over Dallas, Cincinnati over the Commanders. I'm taking Miami with the who knows who as quarterback over the Seattle Seahawks. Probably lose that one. Taking Atlanta over Kansas City, probably lose that one. I'm taking Tampa Bay, my workhorse, over the Broncos, probably win that one. And I'm taking the Minnesota Vikings over the Houston Texans. I'll probably lose that one. So I'm hoping for 1, 2, 3 wins this week. Let's go.
Well, listen, here's the – let's see. So Baltimore is playing
Baltimore's playing Dallas. Cincinnati's playing Washington. I got Baltimore and Cincinnati.
So Cincinnati wins. That's a 1 for you and a 0 for me. So that's good. See, that's the thing about this. You get a couple of matchups,
right?
Against the team you're going against.
That's right.
Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Minnesota. All right. So Jacksonville and Denver on the bench.
They are. They're sitting. All right. There you go.
There we go. We will see.
I think I was looking at this. I think my first win will come in week 7.
Really? You think that long?
Yeah.
Well, look, if you'd gotten a win from Cincinnati week 1, you would have been tied with John.
Yeah.
And if anything I thought this past week you were going to get smushed because the coin had a bunch of easy games.
Yeah.
But it didn't pan out for them. They only got, they got 3.
Yeah.
But they didn't get Dallas. They didn't get Detroit. They didn't get San Francisco.
Yeah.
But your team has just let you down.
Yeah.
But I can't see that.
And
I can't see Baltimore and Cincinnati doing that.
And I sat Minnesota and Atlanta, and I shouldn't have.
Yeah, but that's a tough call, though.
I know.
That's a tough call.
I know.
That's a tough call.
All right.
Well, we'll see what happens.
There you go. All right. We have an NFL related. Are they for real?
Well, yeah. I was going to say which of the undefeated teams in the NFL, I would say is the most for real. Like which one is really undefeated because they really are good. And
what is real?
Start it out.
How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell,
that's about right.
And see, then real is simply electrical signals.
And I'll tell you which teams.
Pretty sure none.
We're going to leave some of them
You're
out.
not real.
For real. Yeah. Are you for real? For real? For real? For real?
Are they for real?
What is real?
I have no idea.
All right, so write these down.
Oh, I like this.
These are the teams we're going to.
Pete's good to write these down.
I'm going to give you 12. You got to eliminate. So the
Syracuse Bulldogs of 1927, the Dallas Cowboys of 1964.
Hey, guess who's on top of the Big 12 right now? The University of Central Florida, my son's rival school. But that's only because I think they played a conference game and nobody else has.
Yeah, there's only 2 teams.
But they're 3-0. But they're 3-0. So shout out to UCF. Go Knights.
Is that one of the things we're writing down? UCF?
No.
I
just like to say that.
You could tell us to write it down like John, but don't meander around like John.
All right, so I'm going to give you a list of teams that are undefeated so far in the NFL, and you tell me which ones are really deserve to be undefeated and which ones are undefeated because they're weak. So I'm going to leave the Texans off the list, but I'm going to put the Vikings on.
Okay, Minnesota.
I'm going to put the Saints on the list.
New Orleans.
I'm going to put the Chargers on the list.
The Chargers.
I'm going to put the Steelers on the list.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put the Bucks on the list.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to leave the Seahawks off the list.
Oh,
okay.
Just because they've been pretty good the past couple of years, Not unfathomable that they're 2-0, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna leave the Chiefs off the list because they're the fucking Chiefs.
Because of the Chiefs. Right.
And
Although
we're gonna leave the
big loss with them with Pacheco.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll just plug somebody in though.
Well, they already signed Kareem Hunt.
Plug and play. That's it.
Oh, there we go. Didn't he kill somebody or beat up his wife or what's Kareem Hunt's
Sure,
deal?
it doesn't matter.
He beat
did something horrific, right?
himself up or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did something really shitty. Yeah. Anyway, and we'll leave the Bills off because expecting the Bills.
All right, so we got 5 teams: Vikings, Saints, Chargers, Steelers, Bucks. Those are the 5 you.
Which one's the most real?
Yeah, which one is the most real?
I'll go first.
What did I say they are? Saints.
Come on. Minnesota, New Orleans, San Diego, Pittsburgh, and Tampa Bay.
All right.
Go ahead, John.
New Orleans.
All right, give me your top 2.
My top 2 of those?
Yeah.
New Orleans and Tampa.
Yeah.
New Orleans and Tampa. Okay.
I'm going to agree. However, I'm going to say this. The Chargers beat the Raiders. The Raiders decimated the Cowboys. I think there's something brewing in San Diego, and I hate to admit it.
Ravens, not the Cowboys. Ravens.
Yeah, the Ravens. No, the Chargers beat. Who did they beat? They didn't beat the Ravens. They beat. The Raiders beat the Ravens. The Chargers beat. That doesn't matter. Well, hold on. Let me figure out who they beat here.
Chargers beat the Panthers last week.
The Panthers. So
yeah.
What I was gonna say is
that I see where you're going.
What I was gonna say is that I'm not impressed with them beating the Panthers, but I'm more impressed with them beating I wasn't impressed initially with them beating the Raiders, but now that the Raiders have kind of lolly-lipped the Cowboys, I'm like, So I agree. I don't think the Chargers are up there. I think the Bucks and New Orleans are there. I'll tell you who I'm going to put number 3, and I don't think they're that far behind. I think there's something about this Minnesota team.
Yeah. If I had to go with third, it's Minnesota.
There you go.
Yeah, I agree with him there. So I'm going. I would go if I did all 5, I would go New Orleans, Tampa, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, San Diego. Those are my. That's my.
Here's one thing I'm going to say about the Steelers. I'm not impressed with their play.
I'm not impressed with either of them. I play 4 and 5 either or.
But I am impressed with the way that guy can win ugly games. Yeah. There has not been, and there is no one that can win ugly games.
Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin. Yeah. No one.
Yeah.
I think he has been handed. He is since Roethlisberger left. He is not, and of course he lost some other really big running backs and receivers. He continually lost people because he just didn't tolerate their bullshit. Sure. Goodbye.
But he continues to be relevant.
He continues to be relevant and win with not. I don't think they have that much talent. I think what are there 32 teams in the NFL?
Yeah.
I think the Steelers are probably 20th to 26th in talent. If you look at and yet they're going to win 9 games this year, maybe 10,
right?
Maybe 11. So, congrats to the Steelers, but those were 2 ugly wins.
Sure.
Yeah, I think we all agree on 1, 2, and 3 there. Saints, Tampa, Vikings. I would put the Chargers number 4 just because I think they're a better team. But I agree with everything you just said, Harry.
Well, Harry's point about Mike Tomlin is why I put the Steelers 4 over the Chargers 5.
Right.
No, you're absolutely right. My point was I wasn't impressed with the Chargers week 1, but in retrospect, I'm more impressed with them week 1 and week 2. I wasn't impressed at all.
Yeah, I mean the 3 of us. The 3 of us could beat the Panthers. I mean, it's really
so. Right. To tag on to this segment, I have a question for you. Now, I think we all think, maybe we don't, but I'm going to assume, out of the 0-2 teams, I think the 2 that I'm least concerned about are Cincinnati and Baltimore.
Of course.
Okay.
Right.
Out of the rest of them, Denver, Indianapolis, Carolina, the Giants, the Jags, the Titans, and the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you have the most hope for, one team, and who do you have the least hope for, one team? We'll leave Carolina out of it. So out of the Broncos, the Colts, the Giants, Jags, Titans, and Rams. Who do you have the most hope for and least hope for?
The Rams. They get healthy, they're a better team.
Yeah, they are, but they're going to have people out forever, it seems like.
Well, see, here's the thing though. They played tough against the Lions week 1.
Right.
But if the Lions really
aren't that game.
But if the Lions aren't really the powerhouse that everybody said they were, all the pros, then is that as an impressive a game, because they really didn't look good in week 2.
I think the one
out of them by the Cardinals for crying.
I think the one I agree with John on the Rams, but I don't agree with the fact that they're going to get healthy this year. I think
no, yeah, but I got to say because the jury's not even out on the other team.
And here's the other,
I mean, they're still listening to testimony.
Right. Here's
you know what I mean?
Right. Here's the thing I will say about the Rams. The year they won the Super Bowl, they had somebody named Aaron Donald who seemed to be a difference maker in these close games that they were able to win. Okay. I don't see that same magic on this team. They were unable to close out the Lions, and they just looked horrible in week 2. And that's to be expected because they are, hurt. The one team that intrigues me that I think is going to be better than their 0-2 start is Indianapolis.
The Colts. That's what I was just going to say. I would put the Colts ahead of the Rams, and I took the Rams for fantasy football, so I thought they were going to be pretty good. That might have been a mistake. But, I think the Rams have the most potential of the 0-2 teams.
And I'll tell you what.
I mean, the Colts. I think the Colts.
I think the Broncos.
Is that because of the injuries that the Rams have, or is that just in general? Pete, I'm saying.
I think because of the lay of the land. Rams might be a better team if they were healthy, but I don't know if everybody can come back and be healthy.
Well, that's my point.
Good. Right? And I think that combined with, I think the Colts will get better as the season goes on. If they stayed right now and the Rams just got healthy, then they would just be better.
Yeah,
but I think
the Rams would definitely be better if fully healthy.
Yeah, right. I think the Colts will improve, and so even when the Rams come back, if they get everybody back, I'm not sure they're going to be measurably or perhaps anything more than marginally better than where the Colts will be, after another 4, 5, 6 games.
Right.
Because I think they're going to improve. So I would put the Colts number 1 and Rams number 2, and then as far as the least, Titans,
Giants.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to say this, and I've watched both teams a lot. The Panthers are obviously the worst of the worst.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding when I say the Giants. The Panthers, 100%. The Panthers are the worst team in the league.
Ironically, I think the Titans are not the worst. I think the worst team. I think the 2 worst teams, other than the Panthers, are the Broncos and the Jaguars. I have the Giants being better than those 2 teams.
Well, the Giants showed signs of life on Sunday. They didn't win, but they showed signs of being able to play a football game. Signs, not.
To me, the Titans are more disappointing.
Yeah,
because I think they should be better, right? Because they haven't been they haven't been a great team over the years,
but they lost their 2 best offensive stars.
Yeah, but you would think, you're right.
And they've lost 2 games, 24-17. So it's like, they're scoring 17 points. They're not giving up 40. They're just, they lost to 2, let's face it, beatable teams.
Yeah.
But they don't have the talent.
If they lose this week to the Packers 24-17.
Yeah. I mean, you may as well go for it.
Bet them to score 17, whatever the over-under is.
Right.
Make 17.
We'll see what the Packers are made of, because this is one of those things where everybody's going to be hot on the Pack now and take them. And then I could easily see Tennessee winning that game. I don't think there's any, especially with Love out.
Yeah. But Love may be back.
He's not going to be back this week.
I don't think he'll be back.
I doubt it.
I don't think they'll start him, but
I don't either. There's chatter about it though, but it depends on how far along he is and then how bad the strain was.
They might start Ohtani at quarterback.
You know what? I honestly think they should start Giannis, actually.
Boy,
All right.
he'd make a great tight end.
Exactly. So, all right.
I got one other football thing.
Go for it.
Did you guys see the Tyreek Hill footage?
Yes.
Of the
traffic stop.
Traffic stop. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
All right. What are we thinking here?
He
Atrocious.
should
Hold on. Let me tell you what I
Atrocious
think.
on all counts.
What?
Yeah. Atrocious on all by everyone.
Because I'm hearing people, and surprisingly, not just white guys on TV. And I guess everybody is worried about losing their jobs, and the NFL doesn't want anyone to say what really happened there. But I hear a lot of people talking about, and I know Tyreek said I could have handled it better, and that is true.
100% true.
But the cop was the one that was way out of line.
You don't pull somebody out of the car like that.
Right. You don't pull somebody. He escalated from the first step. And because
it was the second cop that pulled him out. It wasn't the first cop. It was the second cop that pulled him out of the car.
Right, but that's the guy that escalated everything.
Right. But here's my thing.
Because Tyreek wasn't polite and didn't yes sir, and rolled his window up, he got manhandled and thrown in cuffs.
Right. That's the only thing I think that was wrong on the cops' end. But in the beginning, and this is coming from somebody that grew up in emergency services, that's been a firefighter for many years and dealt with worked for a police department and done a bunch of stuff.
Well, we grew up around racist cops.
No, just in I'm not even.
Everyone's grown up around racist.
I'm talking about in general.
I'm
not talking about
them or not.
You say that tongue in cheek, and I know. But
I say it.
But it's no. I'm not saying they were or they weren't. That's not my point. You got pulled over. You got pulled over for a reason. You were speeding. Roll the fucking window down. Just keep the window down. Just keep the window down. Now, if the cop escalated it, then he's a fucking asshole. Now, and the cop that escalated it is a fucking asshole, right? But and there was no reason to do that. But before all of that, he just kept the window down. And I'm not saying that he's at fault because the cop wouldn't have done that. He wouldn't have had to do that. I'm not going there. That's not what I'm saying. Okay. What I'm saying is just keep the window down. What did I do? I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to work, whatever you want to say, and have him write the ticket or whatever. It was in the beginning. There was wrong after the beginning by the police. I've said that, right? In the beginning, the wrong in the beginning was him, saying, basically having the attitude, I'm Tyreek Hill, write me the fucking ticket. I got to get going. That kind of attitude. That's all I'm saying. But good.
But he's perfectly within his legal rights.
Well, I don't know. What is protocol? So if I get pulled over on a traffic stop and I roll down my window halfway and say, rate me the fucking ticket, I'm busy, and roll my window up, and then the cop knocks on the window and requests, demands that I roll the window down. What is protocol? I don't know.
You need to roll the
window down. Forget protocol.
So hold on a second. Let me finish. If I don't do that, is the cop going to break my window and pull me out of the car? I don't know. So
I don't know either. But
here's the other side.
You could get another ticket for obstruction of justice.
No,
I don't know what the protocol is. Here's the other side.
I do know what the protocol is.
Okay.
What is it?
I'll tell you what the protocol is. Roll down your window is not a legal command by the police. You are not required to roll down your window. You are not required to, if you roll it down a little bit, roll it down all the way. You are not required to give your license physically to the officer. You have to show it to them. You can show it to them through the window. Now, with Tyreek's tinted windows, I don't think that was a possibility. But he did hand over his information.
You checked this out.
Yes.
All right.
A cop cannot legally order you to roll down the window. It is a courtesy. You should do it as a courtesy. But Tyreek was pissed from what I saw because the cop was tapping on his window with the baton. The cop approached the car with his stick out. And he should not have. He should have knocked with his finger. And Tyreek, whether he was trying to piss the cops off or didn't want fans to see him, rolled the window up. And the fact that he didn't kowtow and hurt the cops' feelings does not mean that he did anything wrong that should be punished. The cops were
No,
way out of line.
I never
take your
said
word for it.
Here's my thing. Here's where I went. Here's what I meant. Okay, if Tyreek, I'm being hypothetical here, right? If Tyreek had rolled the window down, whether he needed to or not, and this is my point, and I'm not blaming Tyreek for this. I'm just simply stating that had he rolled the window down and handed him his paperwork and sat there, right? Probably none of that would have happened. And if it did,
but it happens all the time.
No, you're 100% right. You're
You're
100% right.
All the guys,
you're 100% right.
Windows down.
You're 100% right. You can stop talking. You're 100% right.
Getting shot or dragged out of their car.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right. However, like I said, probably wouldn't happen. Now, if it did happen, that's a completely different story. But my point is that's all I meant by what I said.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's good practice to comply with the cops. But my point is if
I get pulled over and the cop says, roll your window down all the way and hand me your license, I'm rolling my window down all the way and handing him my license. That's what I'm doing.
If you're a black man who's terrified, you're in Miami, that you might get shot, and Tyreek didn't say that because he probably didn't want to admit that. I don't want to get into his head too much, but for whatever reason, he rolled his window back up. Being a dick does not give the cops license to violate your rights.
No. And I said that too. Certainly not.
It just doesn't. And I hear all these people saying Tyreek should have handled it better. And Tyreek is saying that, I think, because he realizes he has to say that.
Right.
But the cops were way out of fucking line.
100%. I was just simply giving I was basing it on what I would have done. Had I been in that car and I got pulled over and the cop said, roll your window down all the way and hand me your paperwork, I would have rolled my window down all the way, left it open and handed my paperwork.
Of course you would have, because you come from a different reality. You're not a black man in a white and dealing with the cops in America. Okay. So I'm going to say two things, and they're both, one might be legal and the other one might be a reality. Okay. Mm-hmm. Number one. Okay. Tyreek Hill is one of the biggest assholes in sports, okay? And I fucking hate his guts. Having said that, there's a reality to being a black man and dealing with the cops anywhere in this country. And it's different than it is for anybody who is not a black man, okay? Or a person of color.
I get it.
Okay. Number two, the cops were assholes and excessive and should be punished for their actions. Mm-hmm. Number three, if I get pulled over by a cop, looking like I do, okay? And I refuse to roll my window down or roll it down for a second. Number one, I'm not so sure he handed them his credentials, but
he didn't.
Okay. No, he did. He did. He handed his stuff.
Oh, no, he did. He did. You're right. You're right.
Okay. And if I said, hurry up and fucking write me the ticket because I'm in a hurry, and then rolled my window back up and did not roll it back down and locked my door after they requested it to it, my window would have been busted, my head would have been busted, and I'd be on the ground in handcuffs the same way. Okay? Now, somebody else
would have been wrong.
It would have been wrong.
It would have been against the law.
Okay? But I would have had a much better chance of that not happening than Tyreek Hill.
Right.
That's true.
Well, there you go.
All right, glad we covered that. I just want to know what everybody thought. Because I think you're right. Tyreek Hill does seem like a jerk, and he definitely had attitude. But again, my point is, attitude should not get your rights violated and should not get you thrown down and put.
Look. Anybody gets their rights violated. It's wrong. It's wrong.
He didn't do anything that was illegal.
No,
he was not disobeying a cop's legal order or anything.
Well, I mean, his traffic violation was illegal. But
He was he was not disobeying a cop's legal order. He was disobeying a cop's not illegal, non-legal.
Let me make it perfectly clear: the cops were way further in the wrong and excessive in what they did legally than Tyreek Hill was at any of his actions.
Yeah, I mean, they went from 0 to 100 right away.
Right.
And look, I understand from the officer's point of view, they want that window down so they can see in the car because they're thinking they might get shot. I completely get that.
There's a yin and a yang to all of that, of course.
But again, it doesn't give them the authority.
They want to see what's going on in the car. They want to see especially with tinted windows like Tyreek Hill has.
Yeah.
They want to see what's going on in the car.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
they don't want to. The window rolls back down. There's this pistol sticking out of it. Boom.
That was the other thing that I didn't really like. They had his ID. He handed them his ID pretty quickly.
They don't know who Tyreek Hill is.
Did they not know who Tyreek Hill is? Did they think this
before
is
they got out of their car? They ran the plate because that's what police officers do.
So I'm like, do you really think Tyreek Hill is going to shoot you when you walk back up to the, I mean, that's
Plexico Burris. Hi, Plexico. If you're out there, please come on the podcast.
If he were Plexico, they probably would have been fine because
a joke.
He would have shot himself first.
Oh, right, exactly. It would have been another. It would have been another plaxidental shooting. So.
And then Mr. Burris shot at you. Well, no, he shot himself, and then he dropped the gun. But it just, I don't know. It bothered me honestly to see nobody on TV sticking up for Tyreek and going, he was completely...
No. Mike, go back this week and watch, pardon the interruption, Mike Wilbon sums this up brilliantly, as he always does with things.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
And he's the guy who specifically said, you don't understand because you're not a black man in America.
You're right.
And you know what? If there's anybody that I'm going to really listen to their point of view, it's going to be people who have lived through this their entire life. And he's lived through it for probably 50 years. Okay? So, there was no emotion in it. It was just fact.
Right.
And there's a lot of people who I think came to Tyreek. In fact, there were very few people. I think there were people that were cautious about mentioning anything about Tyreek Hill's actions. Now, you could say Tyreek Hill maybe wasn't the most cooperative, or you can accuse him of whatever it is. It sounds like he didn't do anything illegal. It sounds like the cops were excessive. It looks like we saw it with our own eyes that the cops used excessive force. So this is a pretty close cut shade. One is about emotions and what you think about somebody's personality. The other one is about people who have been given a very strong power in this country. Again, using excessive force in a situation where they didn't need to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry.
I'm
not saying this is not an indictment on cops. Okay. Mm-hmm. But what it is an indictment on is an epidemic of excessive force in situations that we see over and over and over again. And oh, by the way, for the ones we do see, there's 100 that we don't
see.
Yeah.
And on that note, I just want to say that fortunately for Tyreek and for the NFL, and specifically for the Dolphins, certainly for their fans, that it didn't affect the game because he had 130 yards receiving.
And he made fun of it. He's an entertainer. He's one of the most entertaining, he's like many of the great wide receivers of the last 20 years who are just, look, they know they are the prima donnas of football. They're the most elite athletes on the planet in many ways. They do things that I can't even imagine people doing. Right. And they're also very willing to entertain us in their celebration of their greatness. Okay. And that's Tyreek Hill.
There you go. All right. Let's move on. I'm sorry. You got something else, Pete?
No, that's it for football.
I got a question of the week for you. Ooh. And it kind of bridges the gap between football and if we talk about anything else. So, question of the week. Whatchamacallit? I'm just going to change this.
We are in the football season, so the show's going to be football heavy.
Right. So
we're excited. It's the early stages. We got a new beaten by the coin. I'm confused. I don't know what the hell is going on. It's fantastic.
But this week's sports question of the week.
That's why I did it, Harry.
That's right.
I even said to John when I was explaining to him a couple weeks before the show, we were hanging out, and I said, if Harry hates it or is confused by it, it'll be great for the show.
2 for 2.
Yeah, that was the night that I sent you a picture of us.
Mission accomplished.
Picture of you guys at the bathhouse together.
We're at the bathhouse. Turkish bath.
Having some macaroni and cheese.
Exactly.
And there's no food there.
No, that's
You just brought your own packets.
We brought it with us.
just dumped it in with the hot water.
That's right. And there was
Put it right there over there.
There's also no cheddar cheese before you got there.
No, there's no.
Made our own.
That was a type of cheese, but
it was cheesy.
It wasn't cheddar.
It was cheesy. So, sports question of the week. Okay, we're gonna go back and forth. We're gonna start with Pete. We're gonna go back and forth, see how many can name. I need you to tell me the 5 most recent major sports teams of the 4 major sports: football, baseball, basketball, hockey. The most recent 5 teams to move, to change cities, to move.
Now, didn't something happen today? Is there somebody moving? No, maybe not. I read something. I thought maybe Seattle was getting another basketball team. Is somebody?
No, this has nothing to do with anything that happened today.
Okay.
So the 5 most recent teams to move.
And they're in the big 4 sports.
They're in the big 4 sports. Yes.
Mm.
Radio Pete, we'll start with you.
What is the definition of move? They're playing somewhere else now.
A different location, and not just move from. They built a new stadium across the street. No, they moved where their home is. Like, not physically out of at least the town they were in. How's that?
Okay, so they might be in the same state.
Maybe.
This is major sports.
Right. Yeah.
Major sports teams that have moved.
Right. And don't be searching. Just off the top.
I have no idea.
Major sports teams, the 5 most recent. Well, clearly you can think of teams that moved, right? So
let me ask you a question, because
I'm looking for the 5 most recent teams have moved all the time.
Is there at least one in each of the 4 major leagues?
No,
I didn't think so.
No, but it's in the 4 of the 5. They're within the 4 major sports. So,
all right. I don't know. The Warriors?
No.
Okay.
Harry?
Well, the Athletics haven't technically moved yet.
Not yet. They have not moved yet.
The Raiders?
The Raiders. Yes, they're the most recent. The most recent. They moved 4 years ago, 2020. They moved to Las Vegas. Yep.
WNBA is not in there.
No. 4 majors. Yeah. Pete.
Second
guess.
I'll say Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. No.
I wasn't going to say what team. Just was going to say Minnesota.
Yeah. Nope.
Who has moved?
Harry?
Well, I'm trying to. I don't know if there's any more in the NFL. I don't. Try to think of the teams.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Nobody's.
What do you think?
I mean, the Raiders are the only one that's really popping into my mind.
Mm-hmm. No, it doesn't. This doesn't have to be in the last 4 years. Either.
Yeah, I know.
It could be. This could date back to the 60s if you want. Who are the 5 most recent teams to move?
All right. Is this?
By the way, you each get 4 guesses.
So it's the Chargers is another one.
Chargers is you had the first one, the most recent one. That would be the Raiders in 2020. Now you have the Chargers, which is the second most recent in 2020.
And I would imagine those are the only 2 from the NFL.
Possibly. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
Radio Pete, your third guess.
Expos?
Nope. Good guess. That was a move. They became the Nationals, but that was not in the most recent 5.
Not in the most recent 5. Okay.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Harry, your fourth guess?
I'm thinking closer to you guys. I don't know when it happened, but I'm going to say the New Jersey Devils.
No, New Jersey Devils are still the
but they were playing in Brooklyn, and now they play in Newark.
New Jersey Devils were never playing in Brooklyn.
I'm sorry, not the Devils, the Islanders.
No, Islanders still.
They were, even though they were playing in Brooklyn, and
because they still play once in a while.
All right, so I guess that's my. Those are mine.
All right, so there you go. Pete, fourth guess.
Well, that would be the Nets.
The Nets. There you go. You got one.
I was right with Brooklyn.
You got one. You got one. Hold on one second here. Yes, you got one. The Nets are the fourth most recent team. In 2012, they moved to Brooklyn, from Newark to Brooklyn.
All right.
So there you go. Harry, your fourth guess?
So wait, the fifth is before 2012 or after 2012?
The fifth is before 2012. We're still looking for the third and the fifth. Is what we're looking
So who do we have? We have the Nets.
We have the Nets,
Chargers, and the Raiders.
And the Raiders. We still have the Raiders are the most recent. The Chargers are the second most recent. The Brooklyn Nets are the fourth most recent. So we're looking for the third most recent and the fifth most recent.
It's got to be one in hockey, but I just don't know hockey. I don't even know all the. Maybe it's not hockey. I don't know.
Take a guess.
How long have the Golden Knights? They're an expansion, so
they're an expansion team. So it's just
Seattle. So I was going to say Seattle.
Seattle's expansion too.
Yeah. All right.
Arizona has not moved yet, right? That's next season.
That has not happened yet. It's happening soon, but it hasn't happened yet.
Is there another football team? Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, I know, but I don't know.
Buffalo didn't move. Who was in the East? The Jets? No. Did the Commanders move where they play?
No. Okay. They've been playing in that stadium since '96. As shitty as it is.
I was thinking out loud there. That really wasn't my guess.
Fair enough.
I don't think it's the NFL. So I'm trying to think of the NBA. Most recently, what year? Give me a hint as to what's the latest.
Well, here. No, you.
All right. I'm gonna take a stab at it, and I think it's right. The Oklahoma City Thunder.
No, that was before. That was they're probably the sixth, I think.
Okay. All right.
So OKC, and that's it.
Was it the Pelicans?
Nope, not the Pelicans. That was well. I mean, they moved, but it was before. You know,
the Clippers didn't. They've been there for a while.
Yeah. So at this point, we're done with the four guesses each. So the
give me the league, and I'll try for the other.
Right, so I'll give Pete one league, and I'll give Harry one league. Pete, right. I'll give you. Harry, you just guess. So Pete, I'll give you. There's one more NFL team, and it was in 2016.
And they changed cities.
Cities, states. They went back to where they were before.
Is it the Texans?
No.
Oh, the Chargers.
That we already said the Chargers.
We did. Oh no, that was the first one he said.
But you're close.
Oh, it's the Rams.
The Rams.
Really? That happened after Wow.
In 2016, the Rams moved back from St. Louis.
I was going to guess that. And I just thought, no, there's no way that's been that recent.
Yep. And then Harry, the fifth one was in 2011, and it was NHL.
2011. They changed cities. Mm-hmm. So they were somewhere. And then they changed it.
Right. They not only changed cities, they changed countries.
Oh, the Colorado Avalanche.
No.
So it's after that.
So somebody who went back to Canada?
No.
Well, went to Canada, not necessarily back to
Ottawa.
No. Mm-hmm.
I don't know where they were before. It was
a team that was there before that moved, and another team went there to reclaim that. Yep.
Winnipeg?
Yep.
Yeah, but where did they come from?
I never would have got that.
The Atlanta Thrashers. The Atlanta Thrashers in 2011 moved to Winnipeg.
Wait, the Winnipeg Jets were not in Winnipeg for a brief period of time?
The Winnipeg Jets moved out of Winnipeg and didn't become the Thrashers. The Thrashers moved to Winnipeg and took over that name again.
So Winnipeg was always there. I just never cared enough to know that.
They left. The Winnipeg Jets left for a while, and then they came back into the league.
Where did they go?
It's a good question. Where did they go? Where did the Winnipeg Jets?
So to answer my question, there was a moment in time where the NHL did not have the Winnipeg Jets?
Yes.
I did not know that. I did not know that.
Oh, they went to Phoenix, right?
Yes. Yes. The Jets went to Phoenix.
That's how we got
the Coyotes.
Arizona.
The Jets, yes, that's I don't even have to look now. Yes, you're absolutely right. The Winnipeg Jets went to Phoenix and became the Coyotes, and now they're moving again to Utah. And at the moment, they are the Utah Hockey Club.
And
they don't have a team name yet.
Did Atlanta come from somewhere else, or they were?
No, they were an expansion team, and
they were an expansion, and they failed, and so they went back to.
They went to Winnipeg and became. They
didn't go back.
Winnipeg wanted a team back again, so Thrashers moved the team to.
So Atlanta was the Thrashers were never in Winnipeg until they moved.
Yes.
Interesting.
There you go. So that is it. So the most recent would be the Raiders in 20, the Chargers in 17, the Rams in 16. The Rams moved from Oakland to Las Vegas in 20. The Chargers moved from San Diego to LA in 17. The Rams moved from St. Louis back to LA in 16. Quick bonus point, if anybody can tell me where they were before they were the Los Angeles Rams the first time. The first place that the Rams existed.
St. Louis.
Nope.
Chicago.
Nope.
Atlanta.
Nope.
Milwaukee.
Nope. But you're getting closer.
Indianapolis.
Nope. You're even closer.
Seattle.
Fort Wayne.
Still closer. Ohio.
Cleveland.
Cleveland. They were the Cleveland Rams. When they came into the league, they were the Cleveland Rams, and then they moved to LA. Yeah.
And then to St. Louis, and then
to St. Louis and back to LA. In 2012, the Nets moved from Newark to Brooklyn, and in 2011, the Thrashers moved from Atlanta to Winnipeg, and became the Jets. Only team to change their name too. The other four teams kept the same team name.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right, there you go. That's our sports question for the week. There you go.
Cool.
And the only sport that didn't have a team in those top five to move would be baseball. So let's do a quick rundown of baseball really quick. Quick thoughts wrapping up the end of the season. We got 2 weeks left in the season. The next sports podcast we have is going to be during the playoffs. Let's
talk MVPs.
What's that?
Let's talk MVPs.
Let's talk. Well, we can talk MVPs after that. We can talk MVPs on that next show. We can. Unless you want to right now.
Because I guess they won't be announced yet.
They won't be announced until after the season. So
yeah, that's true.
So
yeah, all right. That sounds fair.
Fair enough. But how do we? What do we think? Any interesting storylines? Any interesting moves? Any interesting?
It'd be interesting if the Royals can catch the Guardians.
It would be. It would be.
How many games they have against
five
each
games.
other. They're
five
back.
games back. Yeah.
I don't think it's.
And they got. And the reason I bring up the MVP is I think they've got what's his name?
Yeah,
the kid who won the home run derby.
The Royals. They have Will. What's his name? Is hitting 360 or something.
Yeah, whoever. Maybe he didn't win the home run derby. I thought it was the same guy, but he's the only other guy I would think might win the MVP. But yeah, if he comes alive and powers them. Or stays that way, and they beat the Guardians. That's a story.
How about this story? And clearly, this is not going to happen. I'm just saying. How about this story? How about with all that's been going on in MLB this entire season? When it comes down to it, the World Series this year is the New York Mets and the Kansas City Royals, like it was 9 years ago.
Jeez,
Yeah,
could happen.
it could happen. It could happen.
Yeah, and I could start dating Salma Hayek by
it could happen. It's not like I'm saying the Chicago White Sox are going to play.
It could. I know.
The Rockies.
You and your semantics.
Listen, the Mets are in a good position in that
the Mets are the third best team in baseball, the best team in the National League since June 1st. And I'm not saying since last week, since June 1st.
Well, they're back.
You're right, but they're coming
back
in
ahead of Atlanta again, which
they're coming in as a wild card,
which is good because they were out of it last week.
Yeah, I think that's where they want to be.
And it's going to be them in Arizona. The Braves have kind of faltered. You know, the Mets have only won one more game in their last 10, but they've won 3 in a row. And, you know,
Mets have won 2 more games in the last 10.
Well, they're 6-4, and the Braves are 5-5. So, yeah.
Well, then the Mets haven't finished the game tonight.
Yeah. So the Mets are up by 2. You know, they're tied with Arizona. I mean, they could get the top. They could get the second wild card spot. They might catch San Diego, but San Diego's hot. I think San Diego's
been on fire.
Pretty good team. You know, I mean, I think baseball is up in the air this year. I'll tell you the teams that are falling, which I don't have much stock in anymore. Even though the Orioles are, you know, right now snug in that top wild card spot, I have more faith in Kansas City and Minnesota going into the playoffs than I do the Orioles. They're just not playing good baseball. And look, the team that's surprising me, one game, they're 8-2 in their last 10, and they're one game out of the wild card spot is the Detroit Tigers. I mean, it's crazy.
It is crazy. By the way, the Mets did win. I was looking at it because the Mets beat the Nationals last night 10-1.
Yeah.
They beat the Nationals tonight 10-0.
Mm-hmm.
So they scored 20 runs in the last 2 games against the Nats. So
yeah.
So, and who knows if Lindor's going to be playing any more ball this year with injured the other night. But Luis Angel Acuna has been filling in quite well for him.
We finally get a chance to see him, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Phillies and Dodgers are still the 2 best teams in the National League. I'm going to throw something out there, though. I think in the top 5 teams in baseball, the Milwaukee Brewers need to be in the conversation, and they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have home field. They're going to be a division, champion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to face them. They're a good team. I think the Astros, I still have more faith in the Astros than I do the Guardians. Guardians are a good team. The Yankees, my thoughts. They scored 10 runs one game, and it's just because Gleyber Torres and Giancarlo Stanton decide to get a hit. I think Austin Wells is on the right track. I don't think Volpe is anything special. I'm not exceptionally happy with Rizzo being back, but it's a crapshoot this year. And I think the Astros are going to the World Series, and I think they're going to play. I still think it's going to be the Dodgers, but the Dodgers are not playing great baseball right now.
Yeah. Like I said, the best
except for Ohtani.
Yeah, except for Ohtani, right? The best team, and I've said it before, knock on wood, and who knows what's going to happen. We'll find out in the next several weeks, obviously. But the best team in the National League since June 1st, so for the last 3.5 months, is the New York Mets.
I know. I was the one telling you that I thought the Mets were going to pass the Yankees, and they're close.
They're close.
They got close.
Yeah.
They might still do it. The Yankees could go on some weird tank here in the last couple games.
Yeah, they're 5 games behind the Yankees.
Listen, I'll say this.
Here's the only positive things with the Yankees. They're 7-3, and they've won some series,
mm-hmm.
which they couldn't do for a long time there. So, and the Mets, I had more faith in the Mets than you guys did.
Yeah.
We go back. We'll dig up the archives. I said the Mets were definitely going to get the wild card spot, and that I thought they were going to have a better record than the Yankees. And you know what? They're making a case for it.
And for all intents and purposes, we're not.
You only said that because you're not a Met fan.
This is true.
No, I said that because I just like.
You haven't been through the ringer.
Exactly. I know, but I like this team. I like their roster.
He's you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And one other note too, it's highly unlikely that we're going to have any 100-win teams this year.
We're not going to have any, not one.
Well, no, the Phillies and the Dodgers do have an opportunity to.
But they're not. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. They have to win out.
Well,
both too.
And you know what? I'll say this about the Yankees.
Phillies can lose one game. The Dodgers have to win out to become a.
Yankees are number 2, and I know we don't. This sometimes means something, sometimes it doesn't. They're number 2 in the baseball in the run differential.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, by a lot.
I know that can be misleading
because they beat up on teams 10-2, and then they can't get a hit against the better teams.
Well, but if you look, with the exception of the Central,
right,
every division leader
is up by a lot.
Run differential. So it is an indicator that you can score a lot of runs.
Right. The MVPs are no-brainers, and I don't want to hear anything otherwise. It's Aaron Judge and it's Shohei Ohtani. Those are the MVPs. Now you could talk about second and third place, but they're not. There's no one close. There's no one close. And look, I don't want to hear about Lindor. I don't even think he's the best player on the Mets. Okay. He's had a good bounce back year, but the whole year counts. And he's hitting 258 or something like that. Yeah. So it's not Lindor. Bobby Witt, he's done some things as a shortstop with Kansas City. That's we should be talking about.
If he cranks and they pull ahead of the Guardians, then, and again, we always have this debate about what does the MVP mean? Isn't he a more valuable player to the Royals than Aaron Judge would be to the Yankees?
Absolutely not. Right. Because there's 7 points separating them in average. Okay? Aaron Judge has 53 home runs and 136 RBIs. Mm-hmm. Bobby Witt's a great player. Okay? Mm-hmm. He's not it's not even close. Okay? I'll tell you who I have in second place, even though his team is tanked, and he's had an exceptional second part of the season. I think Vladdy Guerrero Jr. needs to be in the conversation for MVP, and I think Ozuna in Atlanta needs to be in that conversation as well.
There you go. Yeah.
I think Chris Sale wins a Cy Young.
Yeah,
probably. It's possible. Sure. All right. All right, really quick, go around the horn, and then we'll move on from that. Who's winning the AL East? Either of you, both of you answer, but whoever says it first, it doesn't matter.
I think despite their best efforts, the Yankees.
All right, Pete?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
AL Central.
Oh, it's going to be the Guardians.
I think the Guardians will hang on.
Yeah. Gotcha.
They're up by 5.5. They got a bigger lead.
Yeah, unless they have like 9 games left between the two teams.
Right.
I don't see Cleveland losing enough for
that to happen, right?
Yeah, Kansas City would have to practically win.
By the way, to save you time, for me, everybody who's in first place in the divisions is winning the divisions.
So
Astros,
Harry, Astros, Phillies, Brewers, Dodgers. Well, Brewers has already won.
Right.
It was already won.
Right. That one I feel confident.
What you're confident on. All right. Wild cards. Who's the 3 wild card teams in the AL?
I mean, I think it's Baltimore. I think it's Kansas City. I think Minnesota holds on.
You think Minnesota holds on?
I like that. The Twins are a good team. I think the Tigers are good.
So who's in it right now? Baltimore's in got the first wild card spot. Kansas got the second. Minnesota's got the third right now.
Oh, they do. Okay. I know. I think Detroit's only 1 game back. I think Seattle's dropped.
Seattle's 3 games back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Detroit is a game and a half back.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Pete, you agree with that?
I'm gonna say Baltimore, Kansas City. I'll take Detroit.
Detroit. You think the Twins are going to flip-flop with Detroit?
Yeah, game and a half over the Twins. Sure, why not? I think they can do that. I think the Tigers can do that. Right. And let's see.
You're looking at the National League?
Yeah.
In the National League, yeah.
I mean, I don't see it changing much in the National League either. I thought the Braves were going to They stepped on the gas pedal. They passed the Mets. They were in the second spot for the wild card, but they've just fallen back. I don't see Arizona or the Mets. They're 2 of the hottest teams, if not the 2 hottest teams. I think the 3 hottest teams in baseball are all the wild card teams in the National League.
Mm-hmm.
The Padres, Mets, and Diamondbacks are hot. They're good teams.
Yeah. I mean, and they have been.
look,
Like we
plus
talked about that a
90,
couple
plus
weeks
84,
ago.
plus 93 between those three teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't want to play any of them. I also think that maybe I think the National League is going to win the World Series this year.
It could. It very well could.
Yeah. So I'll say Mets, Padres, D-backs. Wild card.
There you go. All right. So pretty much the standings as they are right now, with the exception of Pete saying the Tigers are going to flip-flop with the Twins for that third wild card spot in the AL.
Yeah, and by the way, Detroit's up 4-2 in the bottom of the eighth, and I don't know if Minnesota's playing today, but I just
all right.
Yeah.
And there you have it. All right.
Minnesota lost to Cleveland. So
Minnesota lost to Cleveland. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. And there you have it. All right. We have a quick just a quickie before we finish up.
Jesus Christ.
We have a quick just a quickie before we finish up. It's an MLB just a quickie. And it's not really an MLB just a quickie. It's an MLB because of the third part of this 3-part.
God.
Hang on, real quick. So Detroit,
there'll be a half game out.
There'll be a half game out.
They got 3 against the Orioles, then they got 3 against the Rays, and 3 against the White Sox.
Yeah, so they might
September.
They could, if they win all 3 of those series, they're going to be in good shape.
They're going to be in good shape.
Yeah.
All right. The 3 parts. I have only one question for Mr. Mellon in 27 parts.
All right.
There you go. All right. There you go. All right. True or false? This is true or false, just a quickie.
All right.
And again, we'll start with Pete. And we'll see. True or false? The first Pittsburgh team to wear black and gold was the Pittsburgh Pirates hockey team in 1925.
False.
False. All right. False for Pete. Harry?
Oh, I got to answer that too?
Yep.
I'm going to say false. It sounds
false. Okay. More on that in a minute. All right. Second question to Pete. I'll reveal everything in a minute. Pete, the second team in Pittsburgh to wear black and gold was the Pirates football team in 1933.
I'll say true.
True. Harry?
What year?
1933.
Was there a football team in 1933?
Pittsburgh Pirates football team in 1933.
Pirates football team.
Mm-hmm. True or false? 50...
Yeah, let's go true.
True.
I'm starting to think the hockey was now true.
All right. And Pete, the third team to wear black and gold in Pittsburgh was the Pittsburgh Pirates baseball team in 1948.
False.
False. Harry?
I have no idea, but I'll say true.
All right. The Pittsburgh Pirates hockey team was the first team to wear black and gold in 1925. They were. And then afterwards, they changed their name to the Penguins. And they continue to wear black and gold.
Yeah.
The second team to wear black and gold in Pittsburgh was the Pittsburgh Pirates football team in 1933. And then they changed their name to the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Pittsburgh Pirates baseball team, who were the Pittsburgh Pirates before the hockey team in 1925 or the football team in 1933. They were still the Pirates, the first Pirates in Pittsburgh. But they didn't change to black and gold until 1948. They were red, white, and blue until 1948.
Can I just say one thing out of all of this?
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh is the least creative city when it comes to and picking uniform colors.
There you go. They wore red, white, and blue. And in fact, back when they were when the team first formed, the Pirates baseball team, when they first formed, they weren't even the Pirates; they were the Alleghenies.
Well,
Alleghenies.
And I'll tell you, the only other one that came close was the St. Louis Cardinals back in the day, because they had two teams named the St. Louis Cardinals. I think there was a third, maybe in hockey at some point, and they all had the same uniforms.
Yeah, there you go.
So
and the St. Louis Cardinals. What was the so everything was true. Everything was so whoever said true, you were right. Whoever said false, you were wrong when you said false.
So I got two right and one wrong.
There you go.
I got the first one wrong,
and Pete got two wrong and one right. So there you go. There you go.
So the status quo is maintained.
Status quo is maintained. There you go.
I just guessed better.
There you go. And the Cardinals, by the way, the St. Louis Cardinals football team, which is now obviously Arizona, didn't even start in St. Louis. It started in Chicago.
I know. This was after you asked Pete who's the most famous number 12 in New York Jets history, you asked me what year and who was the head coach of the first team in St. Louis and what was their name
and what number did he wear.
But you still won.
Yeah.
All right. So shut up.
Yeah, maybe I got lucky.
There you go. All right. Pete, we have a over-under.
Let me see.
No. Well, while you're thinking, I just want to say one thing before we wrap up sports. WNBA is coming to an end. Obviously, there's all this, chatter, rightfully so, about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Asia, I think that's how you say her name, Wilson, is having maybe not the best couple of years for a WNBA player. She's having maybe the best 2 to 3 year stretch by a basketball player in the history of basketball. She could be on her way to another MVP and another championship, throw in an Olympic gold medal, and she's averaging like 28 and 11. I mean, if you haven't watched her play, watch her play. She's my favorite person to watch play basketball out of the NBA and the WNBA right now. It's like a throwback to the best players of the 80s and 90s in the post. She's amazing. She's amazing.
She is amazing.
And we need to be talking about her more. We need to be talking about her more.
There you go.
She could go down as the GOAT. She could go down as the GOAT.
Fair enough.
Of the of women's basketball. And that's saying a lot.
There you go. All right.
And on that note, we agree Caitlin Clark, Rookie of the Year, deservedly so.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, here's one thing I'll say about Caitlin. We know it's hard for rookies to come in. If you look at her comparatively, okay, to not only other rookies, but other superstars who have won MVPs. If it wasn't for Asia Wilson, Caitlin Clark would be in the discussion for a lot of other things.
Yep.
And there's going to be good things to come. It's not diminishing Angel Reese. It's just Angel Reese is a lot closer to Draymond Green.
She's not as complete a player. She doesn't do as many things well as Caitlin does.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, Caitlin Clark is amazing, but she's no Asia Wilson.
Yeah.
No, it's true. She's not.
Not even close. Not even close.
But she's a rookie. So,
but her numbers are staggering.
Yeah.
Of course.
All right. Quick over under while we're on the subject. So we've got a 12-team playoff in football now.
We do.
And we talked last week about which of the conferences will have more teams in or whatever.
We're talking college football though.
College football now.
College football. Yeah.
So right now we've got in the AP top 25, we've got 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 teams that are either 2-0 and 3-0. And the first 15 of them, 1 through 15, are all undefeated. Then we have LSU, Notre Dame, Michigan with 1 loss. Then number 19 is Louisville, who's 2-0, Iowa State, who's 2-0. And then number 22 is Nebraska, 3-0, Northern Illinois at 2-0, and Illinois at 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
So my question for the over-under is, if you think we will have undefeated teams in the college football playoff,
right,
the over-under is 2.5.
Over.
You think we're going to have 3 undefeated teams?
Three or four.
I'm guessing. Well, Georgia didn't look great. You thinking Texas, Georgia, and Ohio State? Are you thinking Alabama? Who are you thinking?
Alabama, definitely Texas, Ohio State. Could be Georgia, even though they didn't look good. But yeah, there's at least three. There's at least three, if not four, I think.
Even with the decimation of the Pac-12 and them getting melded into.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I could be
Even
wrong,
with
obviously.
even with probably the ACC not having an undefeated team.
The ACC might have an undefeated team. Yeah, but yeah, no,
That's a possibility.
It's definitely, it's not going to be like, I'm not saying there's going to be 5 or 6 by any means, like there's been in the past at some point, but I think it's going to be more than 2. I think we'll see 3 or 4 undefeated teams in that.
I'll go under just to make it interesting. I look, I could see Ohio State losing, even though I think they're the best chance to be undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia, I don't know. These guys load up the front end of their schedule with third string opponents. Texas looks good. Also, Michigan does not. So I don't know. They got to play Oklahoma. Texas plays Georgia.
Well, Michigan.
So here's the thing. So Texas plays Georgia.
One of them won't be undefeated.
One of them won't be undefeated.
Right.
So there you go. And then Ohio State.
I mean, Clemson's taking a loss.
I know.
Michigan's taking a loss.
Ohio State
Notre
plays
Dame,
Oregon,
LSU.
Oregon, Nebraska, and Penn State 3 consecutive weeks. They can win all those, but that's a tough three game stretch.
Yeah, that's what I mean. These guys are going to.
It's not going to be easy, but I do believe that there'll be at least 3 undefeated.
I think it could be Kansas State and Oklahoma State. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I'll say under. I think John could be right, but I don't think it's the ones that are at the top of everybody's mind. I think there's going to be some guys who are down in the 12 to 15 range who are undefeated.
Well,
who could wind up being undefeated.
I'm buying into Ohio and Texas. But the third or the fourth is going to come a little bit further down in the rankings.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to take the under.
All right.
I think 3 is too many.
We will see We will see if I am if I am correct in a few months.
We'll forget all about this, but we'll come back.
I
got it written down. So
he's got it written down. Or if I'm just a moron and Pete and Harry are both correct. There you go. All right. Cool.
John being the optimist.
I'm being the optimist. I'm not being the optimist. I'm just
Optimus Prime.
I'm being optimistic that
there's dominance.
There's still going to be some form of dominance, even though there's been some reorganization, if you will, in college football. So there you go. All right. Cool. Anything else? We good?
Let's go Mets.
That's all I got.
Let's go Mets. Let's do it. All right. The 20-1 in the last 2 games. All right. So
over under Giants' first win of the season, week 5.
Under.
Do you think they're going to win before week 5?
Oh no, over.
Okay.
Over. I didn't know which way you were going with the over under.
Yeah,
they're not winning until November.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah. They will be 0-8 at the bye.
I think they're going to. Who are they playing this week?
Browns.
Cleveland.
I think they win this week.
Not in Cleveland.
Okay, we'll see.
You know what? I hope I'm wrong.
I have to be contrarian.
I hope I'm wrong.
I'll tell you what. I could see it. It's cloudy, but I could see it. But if I had a bet, I'm taking Cleveland.
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing about Cleveland is
they're unpredictable.
In there, massage boy.
Yeah, they're unpredictable.
Yeah, that's like. Remember how good he used to be?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you would think he's going to kind of round into form at some point, right?
Maybe.
Right,
but I don't know if it's going to be this week.
They're playing Cleveland this Sunday. 4 days later on Thursday, they're playing the Cowboys, and the Giants are home, but they're playing the Cowboys, so that's a loss. They're playing the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle the following week. They're playing the Bengals at home. That's a loss. They're playing the Eagles at home. That's a loss. They're playing the Steelers.
They're going to beat the Eagles.
I think they can beat the Steelers, and I think the second time around they beat the Commanders.
They're playing the Steelers for their 8th game, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th game on Monday night on October 28th. I will be at that game in Pittsburgh. And I seriously don't think they're winning that game either. Okay. I think their first win of the season comes at home against the Commanders on November 3rd. I think that's their first win of the season.
Let me tell you something, Giants fans.
And their second win of the season is the following week in Carolina.
The game of the year.
So they'll be 2-0 in November.
The game of the year
after that
is November 10th at 7:30 a.m.
9:30 a.m. here
on the NFL Network.
The Giants and the Panthers.
I don't know if they're playing in another country.
They're playing in Munich. They're playing in Munich.
But no, I just think that they're putting them on early
to get it over with.
No one has to watch that game.
All right, I'm calling it. They're beating Cleveland, and then they're going to beat Philly in a few weeks.
So you think they're going to be 3-4 at that point? Well, 3-5, rather. No, 3-1, 2, 3. No, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you think they're going to be 2-5 after 7 weeks?
Yep.
All right. I think they're going to be 0-8 going into November.
I think they win. Right. I think they win 4 games. I think they win against. I think they win 3 in a row and win 4 games. I think they beat Pittsburgh, Washington, Carolina, and then they beat Indianapolis at the end of the year. Those are the Giants' 4 wins.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see. So.
We're going to get all excited with the 3 in a row.
Yeah, exactly. They figured it out.
Yeah, they sure did. They're playing Carolina, Washington, and they got lucky against the Steelers.
Exactly.
I could be wrong. We could be wrong. Hey, Giants, prove us wrong.
I'll go live from Heinz Field, Acrisure Stadium that night.
Acrisure?
Acrisure.
What is Acrisure?
It's the new sponsor. It's not Heinz Field anymore.
I know, but what is Acrisure?
I don't even know. I really don't.
It sounds like a really like a German deodorant.
Acrisure.
Sounds like something they named so that no one would really know what it was.
Yeah. They provide.
Is that like a medical testing?
Yeah, they
device?
provide.
Acrisure is a financial technology and insurance company headquartered in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Yeah, they provide drones to third world countries.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, they're that's
and
as far as I'm concerned, it's still Heinz Field.
They're involved with bombing somebody.
And I'm seriously considering now. Of course,
they make GPS units for.
That's right. Dick Cheney is definitely on their board.
If the Steelers are still doing decently and the Giants are 0-7 that night, I may seriously wear Steelers gear to that game instead of Giants gear.
Well,
wow!
Don't forget the Steelers have the curse of Russell Wilson.
This is true.
Although
anytime I go to Heinz Field and wear Steelers gear, the Steelers lose. So maybe that's what I'll do.
There you go. Don't forget October 2nd, University of Central Florida against Cincinnati.
This is true.
Very nice.
Yes, we have to watch that game because
very nice.
It's related to Pete.
There you go.
Sort of.
Pete's quarterback in that game.
All right, you bastards.
All right. On that note, we will wrap the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.getonwithitpodcast.com. That's getonwithitpodcast.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just search for the Get On With It podcast. And of course, all of our shows are available on YouTube as well on the Logger Room channel. Remember, we go live with a video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch every other Wednesday night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, CastBox, Deezer, Podchaser, Rephonic.
Deezer.
Exactly. Pretty much anywhere you can find an audio podcast, you'll find Get On With It Sports Podcast.
Deezer, Tuber, Twatter.
Twatter. There you go. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds and you will never
MySpace.
Miss a show. MySpace.
C-SPAN.
C-SPAN too.
USA. Nick at Night.
Anyway, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. And we'll talk to you in a couple weeks, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Bye, everybody.
Channel 11, WPIX.
That's it. Yeah. WOR.
Fix.